I'd like to throw a question out. I'm going to throw a question out to the audience, so we could have our panelists chime in. What do you look for when you're reading a review? It could be a reading or review of someone else, or a reading or review of yourself.
Well,
and just identify yourself when I call you.
Hi, my name is Rob Langer. I've won MAC awards. I've been nominated for some too, and that's neither here nor there. But in having a review of myself, I actually appreciate it when I do get some constructive criticism. I've had reviews when I'm sitting right across from somebody who's given me maybe my less than dream
and
review.
And you're sitting with you. Rob is sitting with you also.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as artists, we have to learn to be able to. We do have to learn to be able to take it, not be so thin-skinned. Because, in a way, what he was saying during this particular review was that, considering the stellar performance he thought I had given in a previous show, that he was let down by the current show that he was reviewing. And while I may or may not agree with that, I still have to respect that opinion. Was stellar?
Stella.
But I will say the part that I found troubling about it was that I felt that sometimes there are people who are. I'm relatively new to the community, but there are people who are even newer who maybe afforded some leeway or more kindness in more generosity in a review of them, who I know in my heart and soul that somebody who I've seen get a great review, who's a newcomer. And I go see their show and I go, oh my God, Rob Lester may have been let down by my last show, but there's no way that this show should have gotten a good review. So there's like these relative scales that are at work that, as both an artist and an attendee of Cabaret, that are that's difficult. Because as an attendee of Cabaret, I do want to be instructed as an audience member. I want to be warned if something bad is on the horizon there, and I do want to be told that something really terrific but under-attended and maybe less well understood is out there that I should see. I don't know if maybe maybe a rating scale, because I noticed that we in Cabaret don't have things like that, like a star system like this has 3 out of 5 stars.
Well, it's different publications go differently.
Yeah, but I find it much less prevalent in Cabaret criticism than I do in theatrical or book criticism. I feel like maybe something like that might be helpful, so that I know relatively, what I should be seeing more than.
Wait, you want that thumbs up, thumbs down? Is that what you're asking?
No, I think thumbs up, thumbs down is totally useless. It's the shades of gray in between that I'm interested in.
One publication I wrote for, I used to do that. I think that's too lazy. I think people should read my review and judge, because the things I like, if I've explained myself well in the review, the things I like, maybe somebody say, oh no, that doesn't appeal to me. Or the things I criticize, you say, no, I like that. I think you shouldn't be lazy. You should read the whole review and decide for yourself.
Yeah,
so even though I did it,
this is the greatest Hank Williams show I ever saw. It gets 5 stars. If you don't like Hank Williams, it doesn't matter how many stars it gets.
Not everybody writes as carefully and with as well chosen words as you write.
Oh, sure. Thanks.
Anyone else about? Yes.
Hi, I'm Friedwald from London. I've been here in New York now for 1.5 months, exploring the cabaret scene here, comparing it to the cabaret scene in London, as well as Vienna and Germany, where I've worked. And
what do you do? Do you sing? Do you play?
Pardon?
What do you do?
I'm a singer.
Okay.
I've done a couple of shows at Jonathan Harness while I was here, and planning on doing more. What I'm looking forward, what I'm looking to in a review, be it about my own act or be it about someone else's act, is that I want the reviewer to be neutral, non-biased, well-informed about what they're writing about, particularly in the background of that so many people, and we had this issue particularly in Vienna, where fans of people were able to write reviews in columns and websites and God knows what, and these people kind of praise their stars, and they're so biased that and these people are now able to throw out their opinion, which is their personal opinion. And I think the advantage of having a professional reviewer is that you want someone who is objective, well-informed,
Yes.
and a review about, when I read a review about my own act, it can be as negative as can be, as long as it's constructive, as long as the criticism is constructive, and as long as the reviewer explains to me why he didn't like, or she didn't like, what she didn't like. I'm perfectly happy with it.
Good. Thank you. Yes.
I'm Katie Scribella, the CEO of Cabaret Music. I like a review where I feel that the reviewer really gets what the performer was doing. And if the reviewer tells me, expresses what was going on in the show, what the singer was trying to accomplish, then I really appreciate that review. Certainly for my own people, it isn't necessarily quote unquote a good review, but an understanding review, a review that really puts across what it was the singer was getting at.
Kitty, and how often do you find that?
I'd say maybe half and half. Some, I won't be naming any names, but some reviewers I feel are more really get what's going on.
Okay, and may I go so far as and ask what publication or what, without naming names, what publication or what website did you find those reviews on?
I can't say, not that I don't want to, but, I don't think about
okay.
where I'm reading it. I just,
Okay.
I get links to things and I read them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main
The
thing,
links,
yeah.
right.
What? Sausage.
Adam, you were just about to say something.
Oh, I was going to say, what you were saying before, Rob, it's about different standards applied to different artists. It's really hard because there is since people are doing such different things and bringing such different things to the table, sort of different value systems or evaluation systems will be triggered by different acts. And some people will get more credit for something else that they're bringing forward than they would get for technical skills that might be lacking but are compensated for with some other value. Some originality, when newer artists, maybe the freshness or the originality might get them extra bonus points that the technique might not. And it will balance out in different ways. There isn't necessarily one sheet that you bring to, and I don't think there should be a sheet that you bring to it. No, I don't necessarily say there was. But these are some of the questions that go into writing a review and reading them also. What are you? I mean, Craig Lucas. I interviewed the playwright Craig Lucas, who's had a number of really successful plays and a number of plays that were not as successful, including some that he felt really should have been more successful than they were. And arguably, he's right. And in some cases, the critics really were too tough on these shows, me included. What
does that mean, too tough?
It means, well, as he put it, and he's right. The way that the system is sort of organized is if you shoot for here, and you come in here, then it's like a failure.
Right.
And you're evaluated, people are taking it more seriously, thinking about it, and they're like, how did it not reach here? And if you shoot for here, and you land it, then it's a success. Then it's good. Right. That's what you want to do. Mamma Mia does exactly what it sets out to do. Mamma Mia got a good review in the New York Times. A really good review.
Yeah. If you like a stupid show, here it is.
Here it is. And it does really well. Yes.
No, but that's exactly
It is a
it doesn't try to be Chekhov or Proust.
a wrapped slice.
I'd rather see a good
cheese.
Mamma Mia than a half-assed Chekhov.
Well, yes. But that's the thing. That's the thing. It's one thing when it's Chekhov, and there will be another Chekhov 6 times next year. It's another thing when
Okay.
a new play
New production.
that is ambitious and difficult and flawed in
Or
some
have
ways.
as David Mamet. Yeah.
Most, lucky if he gets to half an hour.
Exactly.
Anyway, but that's the problem is that often ambition is not rewarded amply enough because sometimes it is more likely to not quite make it. So I do try to factor those things in, and sometimes that means being more generous to more difficult material or to more daring artists, and a little tougher on people who are taking it easy.
See, and you have the context to do that, which makes you a qualified critic.
I hope so.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to.
I just wanted to ask some.
Sherry, I just wanted to, before we lose what I wanted to mention, as the publisher of Nightlife Exchange, I want to go back to something that came up that was interesting, that I just want to settle in my own mind, and that is the idea of, I could, as the publisher, put in place a star system, 4 stars for a show, or 3 stars for a show. Unfortunately, I can't see the shows. I'll see a few, but I can't see all of them. So each individual critic would then have to take take that moment to say, well, is this 2.5 or 3? That is going to be so subjective on their part that I don't really know what the real value is. So even though I understand the idea of it, I do think that in this community, and what we need is what Roy is saying, is you really should take the time to read the review, and hopefully the only way that I possibly could see as the publisher of Nightlife Exchange to possibly put something in play like that as a star system would not be having the critics do it, but would be because we have the availability of putting up polls and that kind of thing. Put up a show on, that's coming up for up on the boards or in the houses in a music in Don't Tell Mamas or in the Metropolitan Room, and the people that go to the site could, if they've seen the show, vote. This was a great show and that. And it opens it up into this wide.
I think the danger there is what Adam has talked about. And
Exactly.
Friends, you see, people who send emails to the Mac distribution list saying, you got to see the show, and this person's lover, or this person's best friend. I mean, stop it. No. So I really think that's a danger.
I think that's a bad idea, and it's also self-selecting. People who would go to that show in the first place, given the smallness of the market, will probably already like or know that person. So I think that skews it. I would be less concerned with the critical difference problem, which is inherent in any review that you'd be running anyway. Whether that's reflected in some force. I mean, I don't care if it's a star system or not. We use one. And the number of stars I give a certain show might be different from the number of stars that my colleagues give it, but my opinion of that show will also be different. So, I mean, that's just a reflection of the difference of opinions among critics generally.
Well,
which
maybe
seems like less of
you
a
as a
problem.
publisher can read the reviews and then you be the...
No, that star system would happen.
I'm not for that either.